Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I made it back from Costa Rica. As you can see, I'm here in my office. I'm settling back into daily life. I really have so much to share, and it's going to take me a little bit to piece it all out, and it may not come out all perfect, but I will share it with you bit by bit. But I promised in my last email that I would talk to you a little bit about this transition. And in the email, I really said that the reason why this Costa Rica retreat, or one of the main drivers of this Costa Rica retreat, is really the land around Uvita, where we're going, this southern Pacific area of Costa Rica, and the lessons that are there that, I've been talking about transition. People are talking about transition all over the place. And this fall period I really see as a very critical, important time, that things are shifting and changing. Like we are having another wave of major shift and change. Do I know exactly what's going to happen? I do not. I am not going to give that level of prediction, but I can tell you that there are going to be significant shifts in the next several months. And so this period of time, this time of letting go, this time of really looking at your frameworks, looking at your belief structures, looking at your habits, and letting go of what hasn't worked, what doesn't work, or what no longer serves you. And while those are particular to each individual person, you will begin to see themes that pop out. And a lot of it are things that right? And maybe you just haven't had the courage to do. So I'm telling you, this is the time to do it and let go so that you can really thrive and receive what you're designed and meant to receive as this next wave of change unfolds. And so why is the land important? So the land is really important because we're moving into a shift of mindset and framework that's really about inviting in the concept of divine feminine from an energy perspective, okay? And so most of us have pictures of divine feminine, like when I say the word feminine, there are images and thoughts and belief structures that come forward that really are driven from societal norms. And that's not in alignment with the energy of the feminine and the energy of the masculine, that those archetypes that are in our head are not the truth of what the energetics are. And that's a really hard thing to wrap your head around. So I'm going to let that settle. If you want more information about that, you can set up a call. We can talk about it. And if you're really interested, then let me know, and I can do a masterclass or some other program around it. But this idea of masculine and feminine energies from an energetic system standpoint versus societal archetype standpoint, right? This is what we're talking about. And so historically, we have had a society and structure that has a lot of, it is the societal concept of masculine, which is strength, solidness, organization in form that's like steel, right? When we think of structure, we think of things that are unchangeable or very hard to move or shift, right? That they stay the same. And clearly we can all see that in the world, that concept is changing because things are changing. Things that we thought were immovable or solid no longer are. And for each of us, that shows up in different ways, but that concept is there. And so I invite you to lean into that and lean into the idea that maybe there's a different way to do it, that there is a different way to have structure and form, that there's a different way to create a container that is not rigid, hard, it is fluid or changeable, but still provides structure. And so one example of this is when we talk about the bioenergetic field. The bioenergetic field has a double membrane plasma membrane that forms the outside of your bioenergetic field. And so this membrane, just like a cell's membrane, maybe not just like, but similar to a cell membrane, right? Where a cell membrane has form, but it is movable, can shape or change. It has fluidity, things can go in and things can go out, right? It has structure, but the structure isn't like a steel case that keeps the cell protected, right? Your energetic field has a very similar outer bound, right? It has a very similar membrane boundary. That concept, that is a feminine concept of structure, right? And form. And so another concept that is feminine from the energetic perspective, and really where nature comes into play, are volcanoes. And Costa Rica has a lot of volcanoes. So it's not a surprise that we see this kind of energy alive, like super vibrantly alive in Costa Rica. And that is, the way Mother Nature creates foundation and form. If we think about a volcano, right? Molten lava, liquid rock, right? So rock that changes form. When we think of masculine rock, like masculine rock doesn't change form. It's like rock forever. But the feminine, right? This volcano, liquid rock comes up, out, and then hardens, right? Into a different form, creating foundation and structure for land, for life. And now the timeline is maybe a little longer than humans, can have a hard time working with. And yet it is a foundation that works. It's a structure that works. It's a way to create something in form that was formless, that can hold an immense amount of life, an immense amount of diversity, an immense amount of abundance, in a way that honestly humans have a really hard time even conceptually wrapping their head around. So how do we look at those things? How do we learn from those things? And how do we really begin to invite that kind of prosperity, that kind of diversity into our world and into our life? That's what we are moving into. This first phase, right, of this fall into winter period, this is like we're no longer just dipping our toe in. Now we're like stepping both feet in. Okay, like let's begin to see what this might be. Let's begin to try a little bit of this on. Let's begin to really let go of the old and really invite in these new ideas. And they're not new, right? They've been around forever, but in our day-to-day modern world, it's a very different framework, and it's a very different way of walking and being and thinking. And, it really is probably a lot of fun. So I invite you to start to play with it. I invite you to start letting it in. And really this may be where we're going, and this is a period of letting go. How do we let go of the old structures? How do we let go of the rigidity? How do we let go of the form that is like unforgiving form, right? Unforgiving structure. How do we let go of that and invite something else in? How do we allow more softness, allow more compassion, allow more diversity, allow more expression? And let's see how that goes. But it's really why I've really been trying to say, like, this is an important time. This time really sets up the foundation for you to invite in all that new structure and newness. In so like the clearing out of the old, it's just, this is it. This is the time, and really opening up to receive the new. So if I can support you in doing that in any way, I am more than excited to do that, because that's really what I'm here to do, is support each of you and all of you in that process. And so as much as you want to dive in, you are welcome to dive in. Okay. DM me if you have any questions, email me, set up a call. I love talking about this stuff. I love sharing it, and I love supporting each one of you and finding your own way to bring it in and express it back out. So it's such an exciting time, and I really am sending blessings and love to all of you, and really wish you all so much ease and so much grace and so much connection and strength during this time of transition. It is moving us into the right direction, even if it's a little messy and a little challenging. But you aren't alone, and there are a lot of people here doing it with you. All right, take care. I look forward to connecting soon. Bye.